Hi, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you again for joining us. Before I begin, I just want to take a moment to express our concern and condolences to all of the homeowners and some of our employees as well that have been impacted by the creek fires and also some of the fires that are burning in the Pacific Northwest. We're sort of used to this in Northern California right now. In fact, it's 10 o'clock in the morning in California, and there's no sun out right now because the smoke in the air is actually blocking the sun from coming through of all things. But the California, there's many, both of our employees and homeowners have lost their homes in the creek fires in California, and it's still 0% contained. And fires in the Oregon and Washington state are being called unprecedented, and many homes and businesses have already succumbed to the flames as well. So conditions are not expected to improve over the coming days, leaving hundreds of thousands without power and subject to poor air quality as well. And so these are really incredibly frightening and destructive natural disasters, and we're hopeful for relief in those areas. And I personally have had an experience where I had a fire in our family home, and I can say how devastating that is and how long it takes to sort of recover both, physically and emotionally from that kind of thing. So, our condolences to everybody that's actually experiencing that loss right now. And we just, our thoughts are with you, and we as a team are doing everything we can to safely try to provide feedback and communication to our homeowners in this difficult time. So for today's agenda, we'll kick things off with some business and operations updates, and then turn things over to Caleb Donegan, who's our Vice President of Digital. Caleb has been with us nearly 3 years and has transformed our digital marketing strategy to maximize guest bookings for your homes and therefore revenue. And we'll hear from him more later in the webinar. But first, I know you're all eager to understand, how Labor Day weekend went and how we're shaping up for fall and beyond. So Bob will give you an update first on Labor Day, and I'll share our fall outlook. So with that, why don't I turn it over to you, Bob?
Okay. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. Good to see everybody. Good to be here with everyone again. I'm joining the call today from Maine. I'm in the East Coast, so I was able to visit the team here in New England and kind of experience some of the challenges and some of the work that's been going on servicing all the guests. But as Matt mentioned, it was a really good Labor Day weekend, and it's always nice to wrap up the summer season with some positive news. Looking at occupancy, we slightly outperformed 2019 across the U.S. We were at a 86% occupancy compared to 84% last year, which again, I think reinforces the eagerness that people have to travel even during the pandemic. Over Labor Day weekend, our team hosted 16,500 guest reservations. And in addition, I think a lot of you on the call, a lot of owners, they use their homes as well. So when you factor that into it, our team serviced it's just over 19,000 reservations in 4 days, which is pretty incredible. It's not quite what you would see on a 4th of July, but it's really impressive. So to me, the other thing that I think is important to share with our homeowners is that it's not just, not just the numbers, but the service levels. We monitor our reviews very closely, as you know. You kind of live and die by your guest reviews. And, over the holiday weekend, the 4 days, we had 84% of the reviews came in from our guests, either a 4 or a 5 rating, which for us is really, really positive. And I think for homeowners, it's good to hear that, the guests that are staying in your homes are really getting that 4 and 5-star experience, which is nice to hear. Just kind of briefly taking a look at our overall performance for summer 2020. I look at, summer as kind of the bookends of Memorial Day to Labor Day. And so when you look at that, our team serviced, hundreds of thousands of guests and owners. We were about a 2.5% increase over 2019. which again during a pandemic is pretty impressive. And I think that our teams in the field, I mean, they're doing an incredible job. It's nice when I get out into the field to kind of just see what the work that goes on and the passion and the care that our employees have. I mean, they really want to make sure that they're taking care of you our owners and your property, but also servicing our guests. And of course, during this time, they're taking care of each other as well. So, yeah, it was a good holiday weekend, Matt, and a good summer overall. So, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how the team was performing in the field.
Great. Thanks, Bob. We're also seeing strong demand over the next 60 days as well. And again, this is sort of week over week improvements in pacing. So a reminder about what pacing means. So pacing captures the reservations we have on the books during a certain time frame compared to the same time last year. So August and September pacing is 10.2% ahead of last year, and it's 94% baked. So we feel really solid with that performance is going to be at roughly at that level, maybe even a little bit higher. And due to the timing of Labor Day, which falls a bit later in the year, we're considering these 2 months jointly. While we're at the tail end of the peak season with many people continuing to work remotely and kids schooling from home, and we expect that September and October will actually be busier than normal. But looking further out to the winter time, so October through December, it's pacing about 3.9% down versus the prior year, around 66% baked. So that's sort of think about it that as a confidence level of where we think it will end up. And winter is currently pacing behind, but we're confident that we can close the gap. And we're keeping winter rates stable for the time being. However, in some ski resort operations, snowbird demand can pose a risk, particularly for international travelers that typically prop up our ski season demand. We've also heard your request for regional data, and while we can't on this call or this webinar provide specifics on each particular region, but we have launched a new regional newsletter and included statewide performance data for each market, as well as performance in a few key markets within that state. For those who have received the letter, we want to know what you think. And then please let us know what information is helpful, and we'll continue to deliver these in your inbox. So we're looking to spread this is a new program, and we're looking to launch it across the board. So all of you get very specific regional information, so you're informed. So I'll touch on a few right now because I have the information, and I think it might be interesting for everybody on the phone. So Oregon, COVID cases have remained steady, and we continue to see strong performance outside of Portland. August landed with a 4 percentage point higher occupancy compared to last year. And with Portland schools starting online, September and October are tracking well ahead of last year. Florida. So normally facing back to school schedules finished August strong and is seeing a strong demand for bookings throughout the fall. The Orlando area continues to face headwinds because of the park closures, and is the notable exception to the Sunshine State's sunny performance. Colorado. Mandatory rest periods continue to be headwinds throughout the states. The fires in the area have largely been contained, but did have an impact on August performance overall. Winter bookings are lagging due to guest hesitancy to book ski trips this early in the year, combined with reduced international travel, as I mentioned. The good news is that Vail Resorts, which operates 34 ski resorts throughout North America, announced open weekends for 2020-2021 ski season, which will be on a reservation basis. We expect this to help with advanced bookings as people start to plan their ski trips. Hawaii. Hawaii has had some of the strictest restrictions in place since the start of the pandemic, and reopening for out-of-island tourism has been postponed again to October. We've decreased rates accordingly to try to capture any limited demand that might come up from inter-island travel. As we've stated in previous webinars, we respect local governments and tough decisions they are required to make during this time. However, a pre-travel testing program that would allow travelers to provide a negative COVID test 72 hours in advance of boarding a flight has been delayed until October, which not only impacted our homeowners, but also our employees who are eager to get back to work. Vacasa's public affairs team enacted a letter writing campaign to the region's top officials asking that they expedite the testing initiative so that tourism can safely make a comeback. Officials responded to confirm they received our recommendation and would take it under consideration. The team plans to advocate for safe operation of vacation rentals in Hawaii and other markets on behalf of owners and employees. So next, Bob has a few operational updates to share.
Okay, thanks, Matt. So I think one of the things that I was talking about earlier is one of the top priorities for Vacasa is to continuously try to improve our experience for our owners and ultimately which will work into experience for our guests. So we're always reviewing our existing processes and looking weys to kind of enhance things and make it easier for you all to be able to enhance your services and to make sure that we're taking care of you and your property. So earlier this year, I think some of you, I know some of you have used this because we're getting a pretty good response on it. We rolled out a new feature on the owner portal that allows owners to create custom maintenance tickets for non-urgent items. And one of the things we wanted to do is to be able to say, hey, go onto the owner portal. If you notice something that we haven't, or if there's something some work that you need to be done, you can go in and create a ticket for that. So we created this feature really to just simplify the experience, make it easier for you to track your request history and to save you time. And so, of course, I encourage you to use this feature on the owner portal as it does streamline requests, and it's good for all of us to be able to kind of see what you see. So, and then you'll be updated when the ticket's close. So it's really kind of cool. So to start a request, I don't know if we've got a slide here on this or not, but you can, in order to start a request, you can just log on to the owner portal and click the maintenance from the menu bar. And then once you click the menu bar, everything's really self-explanatory. I can attest because I've used it and it worked really well. And again, it's for non-urgent requests. So certainly if there's an emergency, or if there's something that's urgent or whatever, make sure that you call, email your LOM and just let us know. So that's really exciting. And again, we rolled it out and we've gotten good response from it. The next thing that we've done here is we've recently rolled out a new program in select markets, and I'm optimistic that we'll be able to move this along, but with great success. Triple sheeting is a form of bed making technique that's used by 4 or 5-star hotels around the world. And we've implemented it in some of our markets in Texas. Triple sheeting, it's just a form of bed making that really, you use a fitted sheet, a flat sheet, and a blanket, and then a decorative top sheet that really kind of encases everything. And it really gives a polished look. It's proven to be more hygienic for you and your guests. It eliminates the need for bedspreads and time-consuming laundering. So it's something that, we've rolled out. And we're getting good responses, not only from our owners, but from our guests as well. So more to come on that, because it really gives a crisp look of the bed, and really the perception from the guests when they walk in is, wow, this place is really clean. So I'm really excited about that, and we'll be talking more as we get into the fall on which markets and how that's going. But I just wanted to give everyone an update on that, Matt.
Great. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for those operational updates. And next, I'm going to invite Caleb to give us an overview of our guest marketing efforts that we do at Vacasa. So, Caleb, over to you.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Matt. I'm very excited to be here and talk to you guys today about what we're doing on the guest marketing side. I'm actually staying with my family in one of our Vacasa units in Sun Valley right now. As Matt mentioned, I'm the VP of Digital at Vacasa. Today, I'm going to share some information about Vacasa's guest marketing strategy. We base this on 2 primary pieces: channel partners and direct marketing. So together, these are the 2 big ways that we drive revenue for your home. First, what do we mean when we refer to channel partners? So we mean Vrbo, Airbnb, Booking.com, and other sites that advertise properties but don't necessarily handle the housekeeping, the maintenance, or the guest care for the home. Vacasa works directly with the world's top vacation rental websites, giving your home maximum visibility across the web. For many of these sites like Airbnb and Vrbo, we're their largest single supplier of properties. This gives us some unique advantages, including a direct account manager. We work with regularly to make sure our inventory is favorably positioned when guests search on these sites. With our strong technology, we're also at the front lines of changes that can further improve revenue for our inventory on these sites, from piloting new features to doing regular A/B testing, or testing one marketing approach against another to gauge performance. Unlike many companies in the vacation rental space, our inventory syncs directly with these major partner sites. This means that anytime we edit your listing on our end, those changes automatically push out to all of our channel partners, so it's always up to date. We have teams of experts in the central offices dedicated to creating and maintaining the best quality property listings. They curate the content for Vacasa.com and for all of our channel partner listings to ensure they're eye-catching, and they're giving you the most clicks and bookings. The contents follows the three main categories: copywriting. A team of professionals write, craft, and copy for your custom listing, including a tagline and a description using keywords guests are looking for. Photos and 3D tours is second, making your home look its best with professional high-definition photos. 3D virtual tours provide a very comprehensive walkthrough of the property. The tours appear on Vacasa.com and Vrbo listings and are currently being tested on Airbnb. With these 3D listings, we see about a 14% increase in bookings on those sites. Amenities and unit details is the third. Local staff and onboarding team complete thorough checklists to make sure that we have all the details about your home. Channel partners allow us to cast a wide net and display your home to many different types of guests. Each channel partner has a unique audience that uses their site, and distributing inventory broadly, we ensure that we capture all audiences on all the channels. Reviews and ratings can also have a major influence on buying behavior. We see about a Nielsen study found that about 73% of respondents use reviews to make purchasing decisions. We have a team of reputation management individuals, and perhaps more importantly than reviewing the reputation is that we actually review solicitation. So we're actually asking guests to review our homes so we can get more reviews for your homes. So now that we kind of covered channel partners, let's talk about the second important piece of our strategy: direct marketing. In addition to strong channel partner relationships and performance, we also have a very strong e-commerce presence on our own website, Vacasa.com. We've invested very heavily in Vacasa.com, specifically over the last few years, and have seen tremendous success. Vacasa has an in-house guest marketing team whose primary focus is to generate traffic to our website. Then also taking that traffic, converting that traffic into guests at your home, and then make sure that in the future, those guests come back to Vacasa.com when they want to take their next vacation. Our marketing efforts include search engine optimization or SEO, search engine marketing or SEM, remarketing ads, and email. Most importantly, all these marketing efforts are done at the local level, not the national level. We'll get into that a little bit more later. So the first piece is search engine optimization or SEO. This is the practice of increasing the quantity and quality of your traffic to your website through organic search results. So what does that mean? It basically means we're optimizing our websites for search engines, primarily for Google. So it shows up in a high position in search results. The closer our website appears to the top of Google search results, the more clicks we get and the more guests see your home. Our professional SEO team works daily to make sure the pages on Vacasa.com rank at the top of Google search results. We track over 5,000 keywords, with keywords specific to states, cities, destinations, and even all the way down to neighborhoods, all relevant to the markets in which Vacasa has homes. As a result, Vacasa ranks second in overall market share on Google, beat only by Vrbo, and well ahead of Airbnb and other local property managers. Each locale has unique characteristics, such as what guests most commonly call a vacation rental. So, for example, guests might search for Panama City beach condos, but search for Cape Cod cottages. And all of our marketing reflects the regional dialect. By reviewing and optimizing the keywords we use for each market, we can tailor our efforts to these nuances rather than taking a blanket approach. And the result is millions of new, highly targeted guests finding our site each month. So search engine marketing is another tool that we use, or SEM. This is the process by which we purchase targeted inventory on the top of Google. Our strategy is to have both an SEM ad and or an organic SEO listing on the first page of Google results for all of our markets. Again, our focus is purely local. Every market gets an individualized strategy and attention, and results are measured at the market level. SEM allows us to pull levers not present in other types of marketing because we are bidding on traffic and can increase or decrease that bid. Vacasa spends millions of dollars each year marketing homes through this specific strategy. So we also get a lot of questions from homeowners about their specific home and how it's being marketed. Remarketing is one of the many ways that we do that, and one of the most effective. Remarketing is targeting a user with ads based on their browsing history. So whatever they browsed, we keep marketing it back to them. So if a guest has viewed your home on our site or browsed homes in the same area, ads follow them across websites and social media. These ads are hyper-local and show individual homes in the guest's area of interest. Remarketing sees one of the highest conversion rates of any marketing activity that we do. On average, it's 9 times higher than our other advertising efforts. So we aim to be as targeted as possible with our guest marketing. We have made all of our guest communications personalized rather than sending the same marketing materials to all the guests in our database. To support this mission, we invested heavily in creating proprietary marketing tools with 3 things in mind: segmentation, personalization, and automation. So the first is segmentation. With an email in the email list in the millions of records, it would not give us a very good return to just send out blasts that are not relevant to the audience. We built segmentation tools unique to our system that help us divide guests into relevant groups before we market to them. For instance, we segment guests by where they live, where they've booked before, what channel partner they booked with, or how many guests they've traveled with in the past. This ensures that the next step works properly, which is personalization. So we use those segments to send each marketing piece to the guest it's most relevant for. Your home is more likely to be booked when we can put it in front of not just the most people, but the right people. And finally, automation. So this is what makes it all possible. By automating these efforts, we're able to execute personalized marketing campaign at great scale across our 25,000 homes. What we can do with the click of a button, it would take a person weeks or longer to set up manually. So one example of this automation is our paid advertising. We developed a proprietary technology that automatically bids on Google ads at the local level, planting Vacasa homes at the top of Google when we can get the most bang for our buck. We use the probability of a user booking in a certain area based on where the user lives. So for example, Vela units are more likely to be booked by people who live in Denver. So we bid more to advertise to those folks versus people who live in, say, Phoenix. The goal here is to get what we think of as an incremental reservation. So that is bookings you would not have gotten if we had through our website or another channel without this specific action. This is one way we help fill gaps in your calendar as well. Another example is the automated email system. This tool allows us to send emails dynamically every day to different guest segments. Examples of this can be sending emails to guests that feature homes and markets within driving distance of their address, or sending out a last-minute weekend destination idea that is near where they've stayed with us before. Each guest will receive content that's unique and, more importantly, relevant to them. We send over 500,000 emails each week, all of which are very local and very targeted. This is a long speech. I'm going to get a little longer. Okay, so I also wanted to quickly cover off on what we're doing in these currently difficult times. The COVID-19 pandemic hit our industry and all of you very hard at the outset, and it continues to provide a great deal of uncertainty like Matt was talking about earlier. Our response to the pandemic was widespread as a company. At a time when travel was uncertain, we made bold moves to entice guests. It began with updates to the website by offering future stay credits and more flexible cancellation policies. We also rolled out our worry-free booking and Vacasa Premium Clean programs, which reassured guests about their ability to change plans if needed and the cleanliness of their homes. Our guest communication efforts also transformed from being aspirational to informational, as we helped them understand what Vacasa was doing to help them be safe. And when the country first began to open again, we were the first back to market. We were the first vacation rental company to resume advertising on Google and the first in our industry to restart email marketing, encouraging future travel. We were able to capitalize on new vacation preferences as things picked back up, such as searches near where guests live, remote areas, private home, contactless check-in, lake and nature access, and other new search trends that people are now using that they weren't doing prior to the pandemic. By beating both national and local management companies back to things like advertising, we had little to no competition during this time, and when pent-up guest demand was at an all-time high. We have continued this momentum even as other companies slowly resumed marketing, and we continue to look for new opportunities. So I'm going to close with some homeowner tips. There are a few things that you can do that will help keep your listing front and center for guests. You are welcome to view your listing on Vacasa.com as much as you like. But if you come across a property in a paid Google ad, please refrain from clicking on it as it reduces the budget we have in place to support real leads. Second, if you have a website or Instagram handle that you use to promote your home, it's important to include the link to your listing on Vacasa.com for easy booking. And then finally, if you're seeing trends in reviews such as the mattress needs to be replaced or the kitchen wasn't very well stocked, consider making these changes necessary to attract more guests. So hopefully that was a good overview of what we're doing on the guest side to book your homes, take care of your homes. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Matt.
Great. Thanks, Caleb. So that was quite a lot to cover, just like when we had Natalia on to talk about how we do revenue management and yield optimization in our last homeowner webinar. So there is a way to watch, sorry, that's my dog scratching her collar in the background. There is a way to watch this webinar. So you can take and re-watch this and listen to all of Caleb's feedback another time. And that link should be available. I don't know exactly how we're going to get that out, but we're going to get that out. I think it should be on the homeowner portal area. So there was also a couple of quick questions that I scanned through. I can't answer a lot of the ones that came through today in real time, but we will answer all the Q&A that you submit. So you're able to submit questions, and we will supply answers to all of them. But we just don't have time to do it in the context of this. But I do want to go back to one thing that I saw come up over and over again. And Marissa, if you could go back to slide 6. If you don't mind. There was a number of questions about what does baked mean, which I totally get. It's not a very intuitive terminology, so I apologize for not doing a better job of explaining it. So here's what it means. It's basically looking at, so you'll see that what we're saying is, let's take October through December. We're currently saying that we're pacing 3.9% worse than last year at this point, and it says 66% baked. And what that's saying is, as of when we ran these numbers, which was last night, so as of September 8th, I think that was yesterday, sorry if I lost track, of last year, how many reservations did we end up having on the books compared to when that time period totally finished? So it's basically saying, I'm doing a horrible job again, sorry, but if you look at today, as of September 8th, how confident are we that 3.9% is going to be the final number? When we get to 100%, will it be close to 3.9%? And the way that we get confidence is looking, what was the booking pattern last year? And as of last year, September 8th of last year, we were 66% of all the reservations we would ultimately get for this period of time, October to December, we already had on the books. So that just gives you a sense of our confidence level in the numbers. And so obviously for August and September pacing, as of September 8th, 94% of those bookings were already on the books. So we feel very confident. Again, it makes sense because we're almost done with September or midway through September. So that's what baked means, or what pacing means. And I will endeavor to have a better definition presented to you next time. But that's what that means. Just think about it as a confidence level. So let's get to a couple of questions that were submitted in the past, and then also in advance of today's webinar. So the first one is from Gary and Mary Sue, who own a home in Ocean Pines, Maryland. Is Vacasa up to full staffing capacity? And the answer is yes. We are, and one of our priorities has been for normalizing staffing levels across our portfolio and ensuring that we have the proper team in place to create exceptional guest experiences for guests. Next question.
The next question I have, Matt, was from Justin, who owns a home in Palm Springs, California. And the question was, what is the status of the integration of Vacation Palm Springs? So good question. We're excited to announce that the integration of VPS Vacation Palm Springs is estimated to go live at the end of this month, around started September 30th. Thrilled to welcome all of VPS homes into our portfolio. I know this is a little bit of a change from what we'd previously committed to our VPS owners. I think we got a little bit anxious here and thought we might be able to be done a little bit sooner, but we're on pace to get done at the end of this month, and appreciate everyone's patience because it'll be a successful integration. So thanks for that. And then Matt, there's another one that's similar. This is also from Nancy from North Myrtle Beach. Similarly, when is the status of the integration of Oceana Resorts? So yeah, Nancy, thanks for the question. We're on track to have all of Wyndham Vacation Rental Markets integrated at the end of the year, which includes Oceana and Baywatch, of course. So yeah, a communication was sent out to owners last week, providing some of the things that they can look forward to. You all heard, especially with the VPS question as well, everyone heard the nice things that Caleb and our digital marketing team are doing. So you'll be able to see a lot of the results from that. I mean, it's really, as we do these integrations, we hear from owners very quickly how successful the digital marketing and all the fine work that Caleb's doing. So you have that to look forward to. But yeah, those are the questions that I had, Matt.
Okay, great. So I have another question that came in from Shireen, who has a home in Dauphin Island, Alabama. Can we try to have the same person cleaning our unit so they get familiar with it and can better tell when something has been damaged or is missing? And so the answer is to keep up with demand. Our housekeepers are working around the clock to ensure that homes are clean and ready for guests. And in an ideal world, we would absolutely be able to do what you're asking, which is have the same housekeeper do the same clean for every unit every time. And in some cases, that definitely does happen, where the housekeeper visits a home several times within a month. However, given the volume of homes and reservations, we can't guarantee that the same person cleans your home each time, but you can expect that he or she is part of a tight-knit group, and they communicate among themselves so that if they see something, they say something relative to what needs to get fixed. But we absolutely endeavor to have the same person and have as much consistency as we can operationally pull off. And then last, I want to talk about, a question that we're hearing sort of across the board, which is really what's Vacasa going to do if there's another spike in COVID cases in the fall and the vacation rentals shut down again. So over the past few months, we've seen the pent-up demand for vacation rentals. And we do believe that moving forward, this will be the preferred way for people to get out of their homes and take a vacation with their family. We think this is a trend that's going to stick for quite a while. We're seeing a preference towards vacation homes in terms of growing share of accommodations. And I think that this pandemic has accelerated that trend. So guests staying in vacation rentals are largely doing so with family or close friends. So we don't believe there's much of a risk for local governments to mandate that vacation rentals shutdown will happen again or subject to increased regulations, as there haven't been a lot of issues overall relative to the vacation rental, the people at vacation rentals. But if it does happen, again, I don't know for sure what's going to happen, and nobody does. But we know that we have now, unfortunately, we've created a playbook on how to handle a pandemic and shutdowns accordingly. And the team is, again, unfortunately, got quite good at enacting that playbook and be responsive to the regulations should they come into play. So that's all I can really tell you. We have a playbook. We have actually experience now in executing that playbook, and we'll just follow that to the extent that we need to as the circumstances require, which we don't believe will happen. If it does, it does, but we don't believe that it will happen. That's as we sit here today. So in closing, I want to thank you again for taking your time to spend with us and learn more about what Vacasa is doing, learn a lot more about our marketing capabilities, some of the new operational changes, and we're excited we hope that this continues to be an effective way to stay in touch. I mentioned the regional newsletters. I know there's a lot of interest in that, and we're actually So we're looking to broaden that communication vehicle and really across the board, figure out other ways to keep you in the loop on your homes and how the performance of your homes, both financially, but also on the care side as well. We know that it's a very important thing. Communication is such a critical thing in any relationship. And we value having this time with you right now, but also having the ability to make this a more regular occurrence where you feel like you're aware and you have access to the information that's important to you. So rest assured, we have actually created an entire new team that is focused just on this, making sure that you are well informed and kept in the loop. So it won't just be the webinar. So anyway, thank you very much for your time. And that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye now.